Hey y'all, thank you for joining us for another Rockwell Farms Garden Show.
Good morning. Well, we've got a lot of good stuff to talk about today.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
I was going to say my name though.
Oh yeah. Hey, who are you?
I'm Mark Rockwell, and this is Josiah.
Hey, good to see you.
Yep. You like my cup?
Yeah. What's yours?
I got a history behind this cup.
Yeah.
This cup right here, I've got a few years ago, many years ago, when we were like dirt poor.
Yeah.
We were there at Roaring River.
Yeah.
Samuel and I. Samuel saw this cup and he says, Dad, because he knows I like coffee, he said, Dad, why don't you get that cup? I really like it. Well, it's handmade. I mean, it's really cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And so
It's got trout on it.
You know what he said? He said, Dad, you work really hard. I want you to have a nice cup. So
Oh, that's cool.
here's to Samuel.
Well, I got history behind this cup too. It says, I smile because you're my uncle. I laugh because there's nothing you can do about it. And my
that's good.
just the coolest nephew in the world got this for me a couple years ago. So if you're watching, Hunter, this one's for you.
There you go.
All right.
It's a special morning.
Yeah.
Today, we are going to talk about mum, what to look for in mum, because mum's the word.
Mum is the word, yeah.
Yeah. What is this? The second week in September.
Yep.
All right. So it's too early for pansies.
Right.
So we're going to tell people what to look for in a mum
Yeah.
and shrubs.
Yeah. We'll get into some shrubs. Later, we're going to be going over really colorful shrubs to put in your landscape, because you know winter rolls around and a lot of people, this has been a common theme coming up here. I need something colorful, because in the winter time, I just see a whole bunch of dead brown sticks, and I need some structure and something that has color all year round.
So they want to have color during the winter time without looking naked.
Right.
We can do that.
And we apologize for the road behind us. It's a little bit loud today, but you'll hear a little bit of it while we go over these mums and some of the items we got.
Well, we were going to have Christy stop traffic for us, but she said no.
Yeah, she's...
Here's our here's our questions.
Okay.
When is the best time of the year to plant trees? Now.
Yeah.
Because right now they're flushed out, they're looking really good. A lot of them are starting to have their fall color.
Yeah.
And if you purchase your trees now, I like to plant them right when it hovers around 85 or below.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at on that.
Well, also the nice thing about our trees is they're containerized trees. So really you can plant those any time of the year, because it's not like ball and burlap where they chop the roots and there's far less stress on the trees. Another reason I like planting in fall is because that's when your roots are colonizing the best and there's less stress. So even though the tops of the trees are dormant and they're losing their leaves or don't have leaves, that's actually when your root system is doing the most, which is really important, I think, before you get that next summer heat coming.
So right now, people can see the canopy and the size of the tree, and then have it installed later.
And enjoy the fall color.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would say now is the best time to install your trees. And that was a really good point, because I get that question a lot. Maybe I should write my own card.
Yeah.
Because people ask, what's the difference between containerized trees and the ball and burlap?
Right.
So I'm glad you brought that up.
Very
Ball and
big
burlap,
difference.
they take a spade, they cut the root system, put it in burlap, and they ship it. You can only plant those trees in late fall, winter time, and early spring. Our trees are containerized, meaning they're always actively growing. You can plant those 12 months out of the year.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought that up.
I think it's really important.
Right. What you got?
I got a question. This one, do the oak leaf hydrangeas have leaves shaped like an oak? So they do. That is a good question. It's not a silly question. We do get that question often. Yes, oak leaf hydrangea, you'll still get that big kind of cone ball of blooms on it.
It's white.
And it's white. Then some of the varieties, like the Gatsby Gal, some of those varieties can actually change to pink.
Yes, that's a proven winner variety.
Yeah, really good one from PW. So they do have that leaf shaped like an oak, but also they do get some really good fall color. You're gonna get some oranges and reds. We've actually got them behind Jess back there. They're beautiful in the fall. So if you want a shrub but still get fall color, that's also a really good one to go for.
Hey, you ever been to Silver Dollar City? There's a bridge that they have, and they have oak leaf hydrangea growing up one side of the bridge to the other.
Oh, isn't that
and
awesome?
You're just walking underneath the bloom.
Oh, that is too cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty cool. This is from Susan Wilkinson. What zone are you in?
Another good question.
Yeah, you're in Twilight Zone is what you are.
Twilight Zone.
We are actually, I think they put us now in 6B. And look, zones are decided by the USDA. And they do that by the average low temperatures in the past 10 years. So here, zone 6B is negative, I believe it's 0 to negative 10. Now, all of our plants, what I focus on is 6A.
Yes, I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. The past 3 years, what have we gotten down to? Last year we were -6, or last winter. The year before that we were -17.
Right.
And that hovered for like 3 days.
Yes.
It only takes 1 day to eradicate your plants that are not of the zone.
Right.
So when we're selecting what perennials to grow, what trees to sell, everything is based on zone 6A.
We do that because we want to make sure that we're selling you shrubs that you're not going to have to replace the next spring after winter. We don't want that for you. So we really try to make a point at keeping in mind zones when we are getting plants or growing plants on what that winter could look like.
Yeah, and it's extremely important. So that's the way we do it. They have us in 6B, but every plant that we order and grow, we focus on 6A.
This next comment that is from Barbara Kennedy. Do you carry black gum? She has 3 trees on here. Do you carry black gum wildfire? Yes.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we do.
Okay, that's my all-time favorite tree. We talked about it last week.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about it again. The wildfire black gum is my favorite because it has that smooth bark. It's called the wildfire because it's redder than the normal black gum.
Yep.
The taproot goes all the way to China.
Yeah.
So it's extremely sturdy. And I didn't mention this. Here in Northwest Arkansas, we had a tornado end of May, which we got hit as well. I think 9 tornadoes came through here. It took out 80% of the trees that were fallen were oak. Did you notice that?
I did notice that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I always stress that the trees that we carry are the hardwood maples. And you have trees like the black gum. We actually ordered heavy on those this year, didn't we?
We did. I think we got like 60 something in. Yeah.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
So we are going to start carrying that more than any other tree because it's so sad to see the trees fall.
Right.
And so the black gum has a deep root system, has that scarlet red color in the fall.
And it'll bow with the wind when you get a storm coming in.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, the leaves are small. You have millions of small leaves. That way, when they fall, they blow in your neighbor's yard.
Yep, and you have less work.
Yep. And the
Not your neighbor,
bark,
but you will.
Yeah. All right. So, you got another?
Well, yep. She has 2 more questions on here. American hornbeam. So we do not currently carry the American hornbeam, but we do right now have the European Fasciaga hornbeam, which is a beautiful, more columnar, kind of upright tree. That does get some pretty color in the fall. The other one that she had asked is the Katsura tree. Do you carry the Katsura tree?
It's kind of weak.
We do not carry the Katsura tree. The reason we don't is because we like to keep stronger trees that can withstand some winds or some storms. And the Katsura, it just breaks really easy. It's pretty weak branched. Although it is beautiful color, a good substitute for that would again be the black gum wildfire if you're looking for the color in the fall.
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Because that's a tree that you would love it that fall, but you would hate it later.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we get into what to look for in a mum?
I love it. We want to tell you kind of what to look for in a mum. Now, we've grown mums for 30 years.
Yeah.
And so I want something that's very important. When a grower grows the mums really close together to make more money per square foot, he's actually cheating the public. Because what happens is that it's what we call stretch. The mum will grow straight up and you'll just have color on top.
Right.
A quality grower will separate his mums out to where they are not touching each other, and therefore you have a crown coming all the way down to the pot.
Right.
It,
Very true.
It makes such a better display of a mum. So look for those mums that are crowned all the way down to the pot like this one. And let's talk about timing. When to buy your mums.
Yeah.
The best time to, now not all mums will bloom at the same time. You have your early, you have your mid to late, and then you have your late. For instance, this one right here is a late mum. See how the buds are very, very small, and this will not bloom till like late October.
Right, yep.
This one is starting to crack a lacking. You see how it has the, it's starting to, the buds are starting to open?
Like
that
you
one
can see
too.
a few of them with a little bit of flush in there with this red mum.
This is prime time. These mums right here, this is the stage that you want to buy these mums.
Right.
Because you'll get the entire satisfaction of its bloom.
You'll get to enjoy the bloom rather than the box store enjoying their bloom and you getting it at the very tail end.
Yeah.
That is, I think, a really important thing. Another thing I want to add in is we sell chrysanthemum mums. Yes. And the amazing thing about chrysanthemum mums, if you plant these in the ground, they will come back year after year as a perennial.
Yep.
And so that way you can enjoy them year after year, which I think is really important to make sure that you're getting color. You're not just getting color for that season,
right?
But you can enjoy it.
And
every
even
fall.
then, see, these are grown locally. We grow some here, and we get some from another grower that's in Hot Springs. So all of our mums are for this zone and they're grown locally.
Right.
And they will come back.
Yeah.
So this one right here is one of my favorites. It's a white mum, and you see how it's starting to bud? This is the time to buy this mum. Down here, the different colors, see the burgundy, and then you have your pink purple, you have your white, your yellow. My favorite mum, you know what my favorite mum is?
What's that?
It's a white mum that has a yellow center.
Yeah.
It's called Wilma.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. Has that beautiful. I'm going to bring these up to the camera just so they can kind of see some of this color variation right there. Hope that's not too close.
Hey, Josiah, you know why they name all mums after women?
Why's that?
Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, Chelsea and I have
Wilma,
noticed that.
Martha.
Yeah, I have. Chelsea, Casey, all those.
It's always women names.
Why do they?
I have no idea.
Me either. All right. That leaves the both of us. Well, I guess it wouldn't be that attractive if it was called Paul. You know?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Hey, and also I wanted to show you, this is what I like. We grow some in this brushed bronze.
Yes,
which is really nice for just sitting on your front porch.
Right.
Yeah.
And it gives that darker color, so when the mum does go to bloom, it really just shows off the color a little bit better.
So the one in the orange brown are for planting.
Yep.
This right here you can set, and this right here is a really nice fancy
Well, I
pot.
actually like these because you can just set these right inside of your planter that you have on your porch.
Great idea.
That way, at the end of the season, if you, some people don't have space to plant them, they can just do what they need by pulling it out. It's really easy like that.
And that's a great idea because if you have dirt in there already, you just scoot it back, put the pot in.
Yep, set it in.
And you won't have to water as much.
Because it'll be insulated by that other soil.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Mark, why don't we move on to shrubs? That'll give you some really good winter color when everything else is sticks.
That's a great, I love that episode. That's a great idea on your part.
All right, let's go.
Yep.
So again, some shrubs, Mark, that are going to give you beautiful fall and winter color, really all season color. We experience every season here, all 4 seasons here in Northwest Arkansas. And so, a lot of times people will be putting their landscape together, and yes, it looks really good for spring and for summer, but what they may have missed is for fall and for winter.
Right.
And, when all of your beautiful blooming shrubs and perennials, when those are all dormant, you really want some sort of backdrop or something that is going to give you that full color. So, and by doing that, it'll also take your vision away from those brown and crusty items and onto something bright and brilliant.
And nothing attracts more than yeller.
Yeller. Yeller.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so this is a Lemon Burst Arbor Vitae. What I like about this one is because, we also have the fluffy Arbor Vitae that gets around 10 foot tall.
Right.
This one is only going to get 4 to 6 foot tall. and about 3 to 4 foot wide. And so it takes kind of a conical shape, but it really doesn't get that tall, which is really nice for a bright pop of color as a backdrop or as a specimen or accent.
Shoot, you can do that as a Christmas tree in the winter.
You could.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Even bring it inside.
I put blue lights on that yellow plant.
It's cheap if you leave it in a pot. You don't have to go get one of our fresh cut trees, I guess.
That's right.
Here we go. We got a gold mop cypress. This one is great.
I love this one.
Because this keeps more of a rounded, uniform shape.
Yep. About 3 by 3.
Yeah, about 3 by 3. 3 foot tall, 3 foot wide. And what I've also got is the gold false cypress. Now, they look pretty similar in texture and color. But what I like about this one is if you're wanting something a little bit larger than 3 by 3, to get
a little bit larger. Yeah. This is a mama jama, baby.
A lot larger.
Hey, this will get 5 to 6 foot tall and 4 to 10 feet wide,
which will cover a very large area.
Yep. So if you have a big landscape, don't let the small pot fool you.
Yeah,
it'll get big.
You know, it might start out like this, but can you imagine that 10 foot wide?
Okay, you know what this reminds me of? You know the drummer on the Muppet Show? Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
That's awesome. So, you know, it might look cute and small. Another thing you want to keep in mind also when you're putting in your landscape is spacing, you know. And
yeah, don't put this right next to the door.
Yeah, you don't want that right next to the door. You're going to be trimming constantly.
But those you can.
Yeah, those you can. 3 foot tall, 3 foot wide. Why don't we move on to some of the things back here?
All right.
That'll give you some better color.
This is one of my favorites because it's two-toned. You have the green underneath and the bronze red on top. That's why it's called the Fire Chief Arbor Vitae.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It gets only about 3 by 3. It's very good, just like that gold mop that you're talking about.
Right.
You can put it in the front of your landscape, and it's a really good accent plant.
Get that red and then that lime green on the center. This might look cute and small right now, which it will most of its life. But again, it'll get around 3 to 4 foot tall and wide, like that other one over there. I've also got its cousin right here, the Mr. Bowling Ball Arbor Vitae.
That's a killer name.
Now,
I love that name.
It's going to get about 3 foot tall and 3 foot wide. They call it the Mr. Bowling Ball because it really does keep a nice rounded, low.
Never have to trim it.
Never. Yeah.
Same thing with the Fire Chief. You never have to trim these.
Yeah, they just keep a nice uniform, compact shape, and they do really well through the winter. Really hardy shrub.
Yep. Okay. Now let's go talk. What about the golden? Let's talk about the Euonymus, the golden and the silver king.
Oh, that's a really good one.
We just got those in, and I want people to know about those colors.
Yeah, those will give you some better color too.
All right.
All right, Mark, what do we got here?
Well, these are called Euonymus, and these are the upright Euonymus. There's different kinds of Euonymus. Some are creeping, but these are upright. I really like these two because, once again, in the wintertime, you have that color.
Yes.
And this one right here is your Golden Euonymus, and it's both green in the center and has yellow margins. Yeah. Now, both of these will get 6 to 10 foot tall if you never trim them whatsoever. But the reason why I like these is it's very functional. You can keep this at a 4 foot span, just hedge them,
Yeah. Nice box.
And it'll bush out a lot more underneath. Or you can just let it grow, plant them every 3 to 4 foot, and you have that 10 foot hedge.
Yeah.
Privacy
screen. Really nice wall.
It's good around a pool.
Oh yeah, that is true. So this one is the Silver King. And I like this one, although that has that beautiful yellow. I like this one because it has that white, silvery variegation along the edges, which can really stand out. If you have other evergreens that are maybe a darker green, this one really stands out up against that, and you can see that from a distance. Still gives you a little bit of different color when it comes to winter, and because they're evergreen, you just have a nonstop show.
It's a different variation. You know, you have yellow, and then you have green, and then you have that Fire Chief that has an orange bronze.
Yes.
And now you have your green and yellow. So these are two good choices for that winter color.
Okay. Why don't we go over to junipers? Let's talk about those. We've got some like your sea green
and
your Andorra juniper.
Yep.
All right. Hey, what I've got here is some junipers. I've got, different sizes.
Small, medium, and large.
Yeah.
Like McDonald's.
Small, medium, and large.
You want to upsize that?
You want to supersize me?
Yeah. Small, medium, large.
This one right here, I love this, Mark. This is a blue rug juniper, and what I really like about this is a ground cover that's only going to get about 3 to 6 inches tall, but this can spread 6 to 8 foot wide.
That's our Bella Vista plant.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Gravel hill,
Yep.
it goes,
Retaining walls.
yeah, it goes for miles on down.
Yeah.
You can't kill it.
This is also a great plant to help stop erosion.
Mhm.
But what I really enjoy about this is that frosty blue, which is why it gets that name, blue rud juniper.
Yep.
Kind of like a big shag carpet once this fills out.
Yep, especially in winter.
I like this one. The other one is the Andor juniper. I don't think this one gets enough credit.
No.
Because every fall and winter, this one turns a burgundy, kind of a rusty, deep burgundy color. And so, although this is in the middle of changing to that color, it's
The
more
bigger-
of that emerald green color in the spring and summer, and then changes to that burgundy color in the fall and winter.
You know, the bigger ones, the 7-gallon, always sell before the 3-gallon.
Yeah.
Because they're bigger and they can see that flat top.
And they kind of cascade a little bit down to the
Exactly.
ground.
Yep. And this year's sea green juniper, and the reason why it's called sea green is because it is very green and it stays green. And I like it because it gives points of interest. The way this one grows is it'll have like fawns going out everywhere. It is very sporadic in its growth habit. And so this is a very good choice for getting the green in landscape.
And it keeps that really bright green.
You never have to trim it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have seen those trimmed as a hedge. They can actually box those.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good like that.
Yeah.
But I really like the sparse look on those.
Yeah.
It gives you more of that woods or Japanese style garden.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been aching to talk about that yellow arbor vitae that we just got in.
Yellow emerald. Yeah.
All right, let's go there.
All right.
This is the golden emerald arbor vitae.
Wow.
Yep.
Look at that.
I know. Once again, Josiah has plant envy over these because they're tall and skinny.
What can I say?
This one will grow about 15 foot and 3 foot wide. Now, like the emerald green arbor vitae, it's very narrow and tall, but this will give you some great point of interest.
Yeah.
And I really like this because when you plant this, like around the pool, if you want that height,
Yeah.
it really, really is outstanding.
Or
And
right up against the house because the root
Yes.
systems are soft,
Mhm.
but still strong.
Yep.
But right up against the house or walkway, entry, that's beautiful.
and this variety right here is a good variety. It's called the Jantar, which is a very good variety of the golden emerald. So
Yeah.
let's go back here. Let's talk about the Nandinas.
Yeah, well, I've got two varieties that I really favor here at the nursery. The first one is the Heavenly Bamboo, and you can see this. The colder it gets,
Right.
the more color that you get in this shrub.
And the nice thing about this, it'll grow 8 foot tall.
Yes.
Okay. But if you don't want it 8 foot tall, all you got to do, like this one, you whack it and it bushes so much more at the base of it.
Well, what I really like about this, especially when fall changes into winter, this one actually gets clusters of red berries that kind of cluster down.
Yep.
And it's beautiful. Now, this one is a semi-evergreen, so depending on the type of winter that we have, it'll keep its leaves. If we get a harder winter, it will defoliate, but it has that beautiful interest all the way through fall until it gets really deep into winter.
And then you have the Gulf Stream. Now this
Yeah.
one will be more of a ball shape.
Yes.
They typically are 3 foot by 3 foot, just a ball here, ball there. I see these in a lot of commercial landscapes because you can't kill them.
Right.
And it gives you that color. It's actually 3-tone. You got your yellow, red, and green all in the same plant.
All in this, I mean, you could just look at this. Again, the closer that we get to fall and winter, the more colors just strike through all that green that you have on there. So it really does give you some great color for those seasons.
And you can't kill them. Well, I guess you could, but you get a gold star.
What you got here marked with this Montana moss. So this is another juniper. We should have mentioned this earlier. But,
I love how you ask me, and then he just rides right over me. Go ahead. This is one of your favorite. Go ahead.
Okay, Montana moss. This one is a nice flowy juniper. This one is going to spread out to about 4 or 5 foot at most and get about 2 to 3 foot tall. And so as though it makes a nice somewhat ground cover, it does get a little bit of height to it. So that way you just have some interest.
It's hard to find blue. It's hard to find blue in the landscape.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We purposefully placed these right next to that yellow over there, the ones we were talking about earlier, just so you can see the contrast in that color. It's just wonderful.
All right, I tell you what, the last one I want to talk, one more, I want to talk about the Moonglow Juniper. Because talking about blue, that is a upright blue.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go talk about that.
Let's go.
Okay, if you're feeling blue, pretty good. This is the Moonglow Juniper. Moonglow was very popular years ago, and then it kind of faded away, but now it's back. And I'm glad because the Moonglow Juniper, it'll get about 4 to 5 foot wide and 12 to 15 foot tall.
Right.
So it'll be pointed at the top and just kind of, it's kind of an ovate point.
A little more width on it. Yeah.
And this right here will give you interest, especially if you do like the gold mop around it, and then other plantings. But in the wintertime, this looks really good with yellow. And if you don't want something that wide, that tall, you always have your blue arrow.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that one gets only about 2 foot wide and about 10 to 15 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
So either if you're wanting some width and some girth or something a little bit taller and slenderer, either of these would be a good option to get that frosty blue color.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that this goes well with, if you are just trying to get an accent going, is like your, Colorado blue spruce, if you have those as specimen, or Atlas cedar, if you have those.
And now's the time that people buy the Colorado, well, here shortly in November, people buy that Colorado blue spruce to have something to decorate during the wintertime.
Right, yeah. We see that a lot. In the wintertime, we actually change over to selling Christmas trees.
Right.
Although all of this is still available, our main thing is selling Christmas trees, and people will actually see those and go, hey, I want to actually decorate those as a Christmas tree.
We have a customer that buys one every year.
Yes, they'll put it in I know who you're talking about. They'll put it in their living room and decorate it. And then when the season is over, New Year's comes around, then they'll go and they'll plant it out in their yard. Mm-hmm. And they've got a wall. Some are tall, and every year they get a new one. So they're all kind of going.
It's pretty awesome.
Pretty cool that we get to be part of someone's Christmas traditions.
Yep.
Isn't that awesome?
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Rockwell Farms Garden Show.
Yeah. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment. If you want to, I'll get to raffle. Sorry. If you want to comment down below on questions that you have about your landscape, maybe problems that you're facing, or shrubs that you want to know more about, let us know, and we can try to make a show out of those or answer those like we do typically on our show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of an aunt of mine who has psychological problems.
What's that?
You said email us with any of your problems.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh no,
we're not shrinks. We don't do too well there because we don't have one ourselves.
Like and subscribe. If they like us and bring it up here, then they get a raffle ticket, right?
Yeah, so we're still doing, until the end of September, we're still doing a raffle ticket for a 25-gallon shade tree. And then we will also, whoever wins, we'll plant it for you. We'll give you everything you need for your tree to be successful. All you have to do is subscribe to this channel right here. Come in and show us that you subscribed. You can also get an extra raffle ticket by following us on what is it?
Facebook
and liking us on Instagram. Or is it the other way around?
Oh, yeah.
Is it Instabook or
I don't know. Facebook, Facegram.
Yeah.
Do both of them. We'll give you even another one.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks y'all for joining us, and we'll look forward to talking with you next week.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.